disorders, and I guess the real question is, why do people need mind-altering substances? Because that's what's really behind this. And I think it has to do with unhappiness of any sort. And unfortunately, we live in an area that's taken quite a beating in recent years, between Sandy, between the economic issues that have hit, especially the housing industry. Many people in our area are in some way involved in the housing industry.
Well, you're also talking about kids that are in school, that are bullied, that are under a lot of stress to get good grades, and the peer pressure is tremendous.
You're absolutely right, Liz. Anything that makes somebody feel sufficiently uncomfortable that they have some deep need that says, I want to feel better. And then we have that other problem that is really special to our area, and that's availability. New Jersey and Philadelphia, huge ports of import for heroin, so there's a lot of it here, and because we're early in the distribution chain, it hasn't been cut, hasn't been diluted as much as it is in other parts of the country, and so we have very pure heroin in ample supply, and unfortunately, it's so pure that many people are literally getting addicted. Not just kind of liking it, but getting addicted beyond their control.
Or overdosing more easily.
But they get addicted, overdosing too, for sure, and that's obviously very, very serious. But a lot of people say, I'll just try it once, end up getting addicted on that just once try, and their lives are forever.
And sometimes you don't know what it's mixed with either.
Oh, absolutely, and unfortunately, one of the local brews around here was originated in Camden, and it's mixed with the most potent opiate known to man, fentanyl. So here you have an already very pure primary source, the heroin, being cut with a source that is potentially up to 100 times more potential, by 100 times more powerful by weight.
And the price.
I'm sorry, you're absolutely right, and that's real important. I'm a Suboxone provider. I'm in addition to being a psychiatrist and board certified addiction medicine. So people seek me out. I have two offices, one in Toms River and one in Manasquan. And I will tell you, in the last year, and these are rough numbers, the people who came into me for opiate-related problems were about 90% some version of oxycodone or blues, as people call them, or OxyContin. About 90% that, and 10% heroin.
And they can get the heroin for as little as $5.
Okay,
They can get the drugs from their parents' medicine cabinet.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where the pills come in. But in the past year, and once again, rough estimate, but in the past year, I'm going to say it's now 90% heroin and 10% pills. And that is driven very much, as you said, Lou, by the availability. And unfortunately, once somebody starts with this opiate process, all logic, all reason goes to the wind, and so suddenly that's once barrier, the stigma. Oh, I'm not going to do heroin. That's what bums do. It's like, hey, I can get a lot more for a lot less money, and it makes sense. And I believe that's one of the big things. Plus, as you both have said, it's way easier to find heroin now than to find the legitimate oxycodone, blues, OxyContin, whatever you want to call them, even Vicodin from the dentist. But still, the whole issue of finding medicines in the local medicine cabinet is very, very important. And there's been really good drives going on locally trying to raise awareness.
I know people that have spoken in girls' nights out where they used to be like, oh, I can't sleep tonight. Who has a sleeping pill? It was so casual. And now those housewives, just a regular mom that used to use, whatever she used to help her sleep, is thinking, well, I can get heroin cheaper than I can get these drugs prescribed by my doctor. It's so scary.
It is, I'm 65, so, I was raised in the area where the people in the Bowery are doing heroin. Don't go to that part of town and you'll be safe. You'd probably be surprised what's available in your neighborhood. It is everywhere, and as you both said, dirt cheap.
We have this substance abuse, drug addiction, the heroin epidemic. We're joined by a very special guest, Dr. Russell Ferstandig, who's been with us all morning and will be with us till just after 9 o'clock. Dr. Russ has a special guest now.
Hi, I'd like to introduce one of my patients, Jerry. And as you listen to Jerry tell his very, I think, germane story, listen to it about Jerry, but also listen to what might in some way or in any way be relevant to your life. Because that's why we're here. That's why I've chosen the people I've chosen to come in, hopefully triggering something that will affect your life. So this is Jerry.
Jerry,
Hi,
welcome to the
Jerry.
show.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Good. I could just tell you a little bit about what I've been through. About 35 years of in and out of treatment centers, and getting some clean time, and then going back out, and it's just been a pretty rough struggle. And then I got some clean time about 5 years, and life showed up, and it got a little difficult. And I ended up relapsing, and it was unbelievably, like, it took me to my knees in like 2 months' time.
Jerry, what was your drug of choice?
Opiates, anything that I can really get my hands on. But it was incredibly, like never before. I don't know if it was the age or the progression of the disease, but in 2 months, there was some real consequences that I have to face still over that. And then I got with Dr. Russ, unwillingly at first, because I was fighting it, but I got in his office, and he had prescribed the medicine that he did, and I can't even describe the way that in literally 24 hours I had felt like I had never relapsed, never used. All of that was completely gone. And my feet were right back underneath me.
You felt like you again.
Unbelievable.
What was that medicine I prescribed for you, Jerry?
Suboxone.
So when you're clean,
Mhm.
do you feel hope? And then is there a certain trigger for you? Like, is it stress? Do you just feel like you lose control, and that's what happens?
That's what happened this time. It was just, I'm going through a lot of life difficulties right now, and it just blindsided me. I had 5.5 years clean, and this just came and hit me in the back of the head, and never expected it. I thought, oh, I could just try it a little bit. This, that's like the worst thing you can ever think, because it never works.
And do you feel more hope now that you've?
Oh my God, I
been
have a whole,
Okay.
it's amazing. I mean,
You look
I'm-
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. I'm right back to where I was when I was 5.5 years clean. Like, this relapse never happened. That's how good I feel.
Now, you had been through, over the years, attempts at getting clean, and you feel differently now than you did then?
Yeah, because, just, regular meeting attendance, and without the medicine, you have to deal with a long period of, some terrible feelings, some, physical, mentally. It just, with this medicine, I'm not sure what's in it, but it completely erases any difficulties mentally, physically, for me. It did.
Now we have. Oh, I'm sorry, because keep talking.
We wish we could talk to you all morning.
I know,
because
it's amazing.
It's so courageous of you.
And
to
congratulations, by the way, on being clean.
Thank you.
It's so courageous of you to share your story with us, because there are so many people out there and families who can be helped just by hearing your words, and we really appreciate that. What would you say to those affected by this and to their families? What bit of advice would you give to turn this around?
Wow. There is hope. If I can do it, I am a 35-year user, so if I can do it, anybody can do it. There is hope. Get these people, to the doctor. He's the guy. I mean, he guided me, and my family. Listen, that's not an easy process, getting an addict to a doctor. But
Yeah.
once we got there, he handled us in a manner that we needed to be handled in to get us, to the proper treatment, and that's what he got us. So that's the only thing I can say is, get them to the doctor, and there is hope. You can live a great life away from those drugs. Not everybody uses drugs. When you're an addict in active addiction, you're like everybody's using. It's just not the case.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, we wish you continued success, and we thank you again for sharing your story. Dr. Ruff?
Jerry, I was wondering if you could just do our listeners one service. If you could compare, Jerry came to, I've known Jerry for a little bit before his relapse, and then he came to me while actively using. If you could just share so people can understand the impact of the Suboxone. I didn't change how you perceived me during those couple of meetings when you were actively using versus how you now perceive me or how you perceive me before when you're straight. Because I think people need to understand the incredible distortions of thinking and perceptions this drug produces.
Oh, well, I mean, while I was using, we went to the doctor, and, of course, I was belligerent, and I knew it all, and I couldn't be told anything, but, the dramatic change in me from when I, after I had taken the medicine and became compliant, it was amazing, the way that the doctor had treated us, and it's got to be done precisely, you know what I mean? There's a way it's to be prescribed, and I've been in detoxes where I've had Suboxone administered to me, but like nowhere near the effective as the way that this doctor does it. He does it in a fashion that is precise.
To have you with us.
Thank you so much for coming in.
So I know that your office is really proactive in this. First, tell us about what you learned when you took office and how it led to some things.
Well, about a year and a half ago, I was appointed and confirmed to become the Ocean County Prosecutor. And I guess it was about the first 2 weeks that I became the prosecutor, I guess in early April of 2013. We had 8 overdose deaths in 7 days. All the deaths were under the age of 28. And I had one young girl who was 21 years old, who from Brick, who was doing 50 packs of heroin a day, 25 in the morning and 25 at night. And she died in a motel room.
Oh.
And as a dad, I said to myself, how can this be? So, I've been passionate about it. It is a problem that I'm still trying to get my arms around. But the bottom line is that every day is an important day to me, and we need to do something. So, I don't think there's anything, Lou or Liz, I don't think there's anything, one item itself that's going to make a tremendous difference. But I think that if we do have multiple programs, that maybe the combination of all the programs together can make a difference, and that's kind of where I'm going.
Now you got
We do bring drug detection dogs into the schools. We hit certain lockers, we hit the parking lots, and we do things, but it's an awareness more than anything else. And we're going to expand that program this year. We're going back to school again this year. And the next project that we have this year is that we put into each of the middle school and high school lockers a sticker that has, like, listen to Dr. Russell, and I think the common theme here is that everybody thinks that they can handle it, and they all think that the first time is not going to make a difference, and that what they don't understand is the chemical balance. As soon as that opiate hits the brain and it attaches to the brain cells, it changes the chemistry of the body, and that person is no longer of control. And now all of a sudden there's a demand because it just wants more.